welcome to the final episode of the Mudroom.
Some say we were never going to get here. It's been said it's taken them almost a year and a half to build a mudroom laundry, they would be true.
We have done other things. Today we're finishing off the mudroom. We are getting it done, like fully 100%.
That's it. We're locked in.
Finished, so it's pretty exciting stuff.
We're locked in.
Because it has been, as Brad said, so long, we thought we'd quickly recap about this space. So about 18 months ago, we started in this room. It was a undercover shelter. Is that what you call it?
It was like an alfresco area. It was
with a ramp.
It was the old rear entry to the house via a disabled style ramp.
So there wasn't a room here at all, and we used the roof line of the existing alfresco area and turned it into a mudroom, and that means we can down the track turn the laundry into our ensuite, which we'll get to another time. But we essentially added this room onto the house. So Brad built the room.
That's it, like from floor to ceiling, all the way through. New stumps, new subfloor, wall frame. As Sam said, we used the existing roof lining there, so we basically just built our walls to our eave line or our fascia line at the time.
We then built the cabinetry, I think would be next.
Yep.
We made sure we made allowances for our custom built dog bowls for chai.
That's right. Priorities. People.
Priorities. We have all the hampers and the overheads and the stacked washer and dryer. And then behind us we have the bench, the drawers for shoes and the cupboards. We got the door, which was a reclaimed door pulled from a house that was getting rid of it. So that was an upcycle piece. We built the deck outside.
That's right.
Is that it?
Pretty much,
We've got our splashback, which was made from
our roof lining material, our big roof. We've got a nice big honky sink.
Yes.
Of course, there's not a laundry without a 50-kilogram sink.
It is the top number one thing you have to get right in a laundry or a mudroom, because that is the entire purpose, and being for the room is to function well for the family. So we'll go through all those things, and you might pick up on something that you like that you might put in your space.
That's it. Are you hinting to a bonus episode of an organisational?
Maybe, if that's what the people want. Let's finish this mudroom off.
Finally!
I have just sanded down the skirting boards, and I need to paint the blue. So we've got the blue skirting board will be to match the blue cabinetry, and we will do the white skirting board or the beige skirting board to match the walls. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the blue one. So you don't need to see me do that. So I'm going to paint it and we'll come back. Okay, so the skirting has been painted. As you can see behind me, it's got that lovely continuous blue, and Brad is behind me painting the ceiling, and I am going to prime these walls ready for paint, and then we can move on to our fixtures and fittings, which is very exciting. We are officially putting in the first of many shelves into our cupboards, and this one is specifically high to allow for, Brad, can you show Chai's dog candy? Yes. Chai's dog food container. With a little paw on it. It's a really cute little container. But we wanted to make sure that everything fits and has its place. So the first shelf is going in. So this has turned into late night works.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone. We literally had a quick dinner and we're back to it. We will not be getting this done today. That was very ambitious.
But we did get a lot done.
You gotta have a dream. We got so much done. You gotta have those pushes in these renovations to move forward, and you've just gotta keep rolling through it. And nothing but a deadline will help you get there. Brad is putting on some of our hardware because I really wanted to see some before we go to bed. Is that it? Oh, hooray! Oh my gosh. We can actually use it.
Finally!
Hooray! Can you believe it? We are finally getting to put in our beautiful aged brass fluted handles that we chosen for this room almost a year ago now, and they've sat in the cupboard waiting for this moment, so it's pretty exciting stuff. The hardware really does pull together a space. Often people get to this point and it does seem like quite an investment. Hardware can be quite expensive, but I promise you it will pay itself off in dividends. It just pulls a space together. The fluted detailing on these handles look absolutely beautiful and pay homage to the fluting details we have throughout the home. They're so solid and beautiful. The tones aren't too yellow or shiny. It just brings this soft elegance to the room.
We're back to late night sessions.
I know, it's very hard with the lighting. I'll have to make sure I get better lighting, but...
Now we've just drilled our hole to get our new tap in.
This tap is absolutely beautiful. stunning. I will definitely show better in the light, I promise.
We're finally at the stage where we can take our floor covering off, so this was protecting the floor. I had forgotten how much energy and time is in the finishes. Honestly, it's been a while since we finished off a room, and don't underestimate the process of doing the finishes. But we're finally here. We're literally down to the last details. So I'm going to remove the floor covering and start to give everything a really good clean.
This is the final layer of paint that Brad is doing to finish off these walls, and then the room is pretty well finished.
So we are on the last day of finishing this room off, and we are so close. And it always comes down to that last couple of percent in these sort of rooms where you really need to focus and just get the detail done, because as we all know with those little projects, if you leave those little bits of caulking or those touch-ups and paints, if you don't do them in that exact moment, you never do them. You get on to the next project and you completely forget about it. So we're laser focused today. We're so close. Last couple of bits of caulking and some paint touch-ups on the skirting to go. Caulk these floors in, and we can finally call this room a day, which is so exciting. So let's get this thing finished.
We're doing our finishing touches here, and that is organising the cupboards, hanging the vacuum cleaner and the mops, which is what Brad's doing now. That's a joy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Brad just said both the vacuum and the mop are charging at the same time, which is the first time we've had that. So
we just have to like change them over, which is just such a pain, but now it's great. Now for an interesting bit that people either don't mind doing or they absolutely hate doing it because it is a nightmare of a job to do. It's caulking. So caulking, of course, is 100% necessary to all benchtop installations and sink installations, particularly under bench, just to make sure that you don't get any water gets in between that sink itself and the outside of the benchtop. So finished that off earlier, and now we've got our beautiful coloured Havana to match our grout colour, which we're actually going to use for the bench tops here as well. So we figure it's a nice complementary colour to suit our bench top colour. We have, of course, got dark and white, so it is hard to pick a colour. Sometimes you usually suit your wall colour with your caulking finish or your floor colour, whichever one's a little bit more dominant. In our case, this is just far more consistent throughout the whole room, so we're just going to do it everywhere so it's nice and consistent. So a couple of little tools as well to run through. As I said, a lot of people don't really love doing this, but there are a few things that do make it just a little bit easier. One thing is a really good branded cork, a nice silicone cork as well. Nothing like Sally's cork is kind of great. This one was a little bit rough, this white, it was just a normal Sally's one, whereas your Dunlops and other tile sponsored or tile like corks are far better to install. They're much, much easier. Maxi Seal is probably one of the best ones that's used in the commercial world, but Dunlop are pretty good. And of course you have got a couple of options as well. You have this one, which it doesn't really say here, but it is an aesthetic cure, which means it's got that vinegary smell to it. So this is a little bit easy to apply. However, do not use it on stoneware because it will actually stain anything that's natural, like natural stone that has a little bit of porousness to it. It will actually literally destroy your work and you will not be able to fix it. So make sure you use a non-aesthetic cure on stoneware, whereas an aesthetic cure on tiling, porcelain, timber, wood, all that sort of stuff is absolutely fine. So we're going to use this, and I have a trusty paddle pop stick, a little bit of a caulking tool sometimes it's a little bit nicer, and a little spray bottle is super important for the caulking situation. So let's see if we can get this one to look good.
Can you believe it? We have a finished mudroom.
I can't even believe it.
Here it is, the finished mudroom, ready for us to use and get dirty again.
We have been very much enjoying having a clean and small room in this house. It is definitely a hard thing to come by in the renovation world. All those renovating a house know that, but we've just been delighted with this lovely little space, and we finally get to wash our clothes so easily.
So we have our stacked washer and dryer, our beautiful tiles, our cabinetry, our bench, our cupboard space, our sink, all the handles, the details came together beautifully. And the deep blue really is the perfect moody mudroom colour.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and it's really geared us up to finish off the rest of this house.
Thank you for joining us. And if you want to know how we built this, you can go back to episode 1 and watch the series again. But this concludes our mudroom series, and we're on to a bigger and better project.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Bye.